Ease of access for firms really helps to drive home their ability to make better decisions, measure what those success criteria are, as well as just provide transparency to what they're trying to solve for. It's not so much that having the data is hard for folks, it's managing the mass amount of data. The other thing that firms, especially in our industry, struggle with is someone who's dealing with a know your client type of scenario. They need to have access to lots of data about a particular individual. Social security numbers, things of that nature. Someone who's working in the client reporting space shouldn't have access to some of that data. The issue is that data is stored all in the same location. So rather than parsing out and controlling access, they make copies of just what people need, and then everything gets out of sync. So within a best-of-breed approach, you're going to run into some of those data challenges. Some of them are data lives in two different places. It lives in different formats. You can't sync and line things up. A lot of firms will even have multiple records for what the client's main address is, as opposed to letting one single source filter and trickle down to all those other sources that actually need it. Ways to solve this is really to try to get to that singular point of information and then utilizing APIs to call in exactly what that is. You get rid of all the complexities about keeping things in sync, making sure they match, why is one different, and it makes the ease of access, the speed of access, and what you can do with that a lot easier to control. When firms have problems tying all this data back together, you either spend so much time trying to make it useful that you've now lost the value, or you've spent so much time researching what the right way is that you never actually get to the point where you're using that data. A lot of the folks that are accessing this and looking at it are not really technical folks who can do those creative joins to pull data across multiple tables. They may not even have access to those tables. So to pull that data together for a business user is a lot trickier than it would be for someone with just complete open rights. One of the solutions that can help solve this problem is clearly identifying what that single source of any particular data set may or may not be. A lot of firms start to do that at that CRM or that book of records type level. When you're doing that, firms, especially in our industry, also need to figure out, are all of their advisors using the same CRM system? If they're not, it gets very, very complicated. So I think one of the very first initial steps is figuring out and consolidating down from really advisor choice of what systems to be using to more of a home office oversight directed. That said, there are plenty of firms out there who have a firm-wide solution for their advisors on CRM or client reporting or whatever it might be, yet the home office uses a different CRM. So narrowing down even what solutions you're using within your firm, I think really is going to help alleviate a lot of these concerns and problems.